Know what time of year it is? It's time to make stocking stuffers. A few years back, I gave everybody back scratchers and they went over really well, so I decided to do it again this year. We're going to mass produce those guys out of one 20-inch long piece of red oak. We're going to need the bowl routing bit, that's what I call it anyway, and a 3/8 round over. Other than that, it's going to take a bandsaw. So, if you have those items, then let's get to it. Look at how these work together. This one's going to carve the inside of the fingers that curve down to do the actual scratching. This one's going to match up to it. And so the end result will be our fingers curving down right there between the two. We'll leave something like an 1/8 or a 3/16 of an inch. And the question now would be, which one of these should we use first? I'm thinking that we should do the round over first and then come back with the bowl cutting bit. That way, the bowl cutter isn't working on an extremely narrow piece of wood. The way we'll do this is we'll route one end of the board and then we'll flip it over and route the other end. Of the waste behind the fingers by using a dado blade on my radial arm saw. And I don't want to cut way down into my fence, so I'm using a board underneath the board I'm cutting to raise the height somewhat. I'll clamp a stop block down here. Control for this setup, it'll just have to make a mess. Step is to resaw the board on the bandsaw. That is, to split it right down the middle. Have to be really careful about this. A lot can go wrong. I've squared up the table and the blade and the fence, and I've tested for drift. And so now we're just going to run it through and hope for the best. It's not exactly centered, but it's going to work for back scratchers. Our board is 5.5 inches wide. So if we take 1.25 inches each time, we can get 4 back scratchers out of it. Now, to give it that true back scratcher flavor, it needs to have fingers. We can cut dividers here. We can cut 3 to give it 5 fingers, or we can ad-lib a little bit and make it an alien. What do you think? The main thing is you don't want to go too far in with it. We still want to keep the strength of the wood all the way across. So just stopping about right here would be good. I don't try to set up any kind of jig for this. I just freehand it. Handle to be this wide, so we're going to come into the middle until it's about a 1/2 inch wide. That means we need to angle in, and I'm just arbitrarily chosen a 45 degree. We're going to angle in right here at 45 degrees from each side to meet in the middle with the 1/2 inch handle. So for one of these cuts, I can use the miter gauge. But I won't be able to use it for both sides because we would have to turn the stick over like this. And as you can see, that's not going to work. So we'll have to freehand the other cut. Guide assembly down as low as it can be, close to the stock that I'm cutting. And the fence can only come so close before it hits the blade guide assembly. I need it closer than that, so I've made this jig, which is nothing more than 2 pieces of wood nailed together and clamped to the fence. But it's going to help me get closer up under the blade guide assembly. I've got to make 2 cuts, one on each side of the middle, and we can't set this down as we're sliding the stock forward because of the fingers. So both of the cuts have to be made with this backside down. So which one should I do first? Does it matter? Sure it does. If I cut this one first, then I'm not going to have a straight edge because this is going to be sticking out as I slide the other one down along the fence. So I have to make the outer cut first and then come back and pick this one up. This poor guy, I forgot about. These 2 are the end pieces, and they were slightly wider than the others because I didn't rip them to an exact 1 1/4. And so as a result, this poor guy wound up almost ripped down the middle. This one's a total loss, but I can readjust and save this guy. All I have to do is position the fence appropriately. Well, they all need sanding, and I don't think I'm going to try to put a finish on these. They look pretty nice just the way they are. So sand them down good to prevent any splinters and smooth up some of the rough edges. And these guys will be ready to pop in the stockings. They also make a good gift for your fellow employees at work. I want to thank you for watching Wood Tools Workshop. Be sure to check out our website, woodtoolsworkshop.com. Don't forget to subscribe to get notification of new videos as we upload them. See you later.